Recording in progress.
Yo, what up? What up, fam? What's good? I'm your boy Trey, Fraser. I got my brother Maestro Styles here with me today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome, folks. It's another edition of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Special shout out to all of our Facebook Live viewers, all of our Twitter Live viewers, and our YouTube Live viewers. You can follow us on those platforms, subscribe to the channel, click the like button on the Facebook page, and you could also follow us on our Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. And I'm gonna say it again. Hashtag free Brittany Griner. Hashtag sell the team Snyder. Hashtag lock Brett Favre up. Hashtag sell the team Snyder. What's good, fam?
And happy birthday to Brittany Griner, who turned 32 today.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah,
What a way to spend your birthday. It's wild.
Especially when, look, man, I don't know how she feel about it. I feel like she shouldn't be in jail, and you know what I'm saying? And I think
she should be home.
Yeah, so, I don't want to get into that. Happy birthday, irregardless. And we pray for her return soon.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely, man. Absolutely,
Yeah.
man. Hey, how you doing, bro? What's poppin', man?
In the words of Rick Ross, man, God is the greatest, but Satan been on his shit. And that's kind of been the theme today. But while we on that, I definitely do want to also send prayers out to Dikembe Mutombo, who was diagnosed with a brain tumor, I believe.
Brain tumor, yep.
And Nate Robinson, who is dealing with some kidney failure issues.
Yeah.
So prayers to those good men. Yeah, man. Hey, man. It just, the grind don't stop, man. The grind don't stop, bro.
Oh no, definitely not, man. And shout out to those ball players, man, former ball players too. I just saw the stuff about Nate Robinson, and
Yeah.
I hope he can, whatever procedure he's got to go through to, get himself right, man. I pray that goes well for him, and the same for Dikembe Mutombo on that front too, man. I gotta ditto what you said right there. With the week kind of being what it's been. God's been blessing you, but Satan always, behind the scenes trying to cook something up, man. So I'm just trying
He's
to
definitely busy.
Yeah. So, I just been trying to maintain my mental health, pretty much, all week, and quite frankly, I've been doing it for a while now. I think everybody should take their mental health seriously, whether you're diagnosed with something mental or not. I think we all should just, make sure that our mentals is, is straight, Marshawn Lynch once said, take care of your chickens, take care of your mentals. And so, without, delaying this talk any further, bruh, I had to get out the house Sunday, man.
Yeah.
I had to get out the house, bruh.
I'm glad you into. I'm glad that that's the subject you went to, because when I looked at our notes, I think you updated it yesterday, I believe.
Yeah.
And when you went to the notes, and I was like, let me see what he's talking about, and this was not on the docket. So I thought I was gonna have to make it my business to rub it in your face. So I respect the maturity of you getting straight to it.
Yeah, nah. That was just a little bit of. That was just stuff that I probably was gonna forget to talk about. That's why I put it there. But no, we gonna get to it. It is what it is, bruh. The Ravens, they gave another game away on Sunday, and I said, yo, I gotta take these kids to the park, bowling alley. I gotta take them. I gotta get out this house, cause I was seriously about to destroy some stuff, and and I'm glad I did. We went to the bowling alley, and one of the biggest games of the week, which was Kansas City and Buffalo, I ain't even bother to watch the first half of the game. I said I got to get out the house, and get these kids somewhere, man. Yeah, man. It's just.
So how are you on Tuesday? Obviously a few days after. How are you mentally in reference to your team, and where do you think that your projections change? Like, where do you go? Where are you with the Ravens right now?
This team is what it's gonna be. Like this is the personality of this football team right now. They have great first halves, third quarter. Depending on the type of game, they'll take a big lead. They'll stay in it, and then the fourth quarter comes, and in the famous words of Stephen A. when he references the Cowboys, they're accident waiting to happen. And I think for the rest of this year, I think this is what it's gonna be. The rest of the year, I don't know what they're gonna do. I think it's hilarious that they signed Deshaun Jackson.
Hilarious,
today.
Interesting.
I think that's hilarious, and not because I think Deshaun Jackson is washed.
Okay.
It's because we've been down this road before. The Ravens know that if you're trying to build Lamar up to be, one of the better quarterbacks, I mean, he's already one of the top 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But if you want to get this like passing game going, like where you're really gonna see Lamar, really sling that thing, you got to go out and get one of these receivers. I mean, look, Miami went out and traded for Tyreek Hill. The Raiders went out and traded for Devontae Adams, paid him big money. The Eagles went out and got Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and gave him an extension. And I've said it many times about the front office that this is sort of the MO, year in, year out, the off season. When teams cut receivers, they kind of go into the Walmart cart and start picking up stuff out the clearance rack, basically, and paying receivers on the cheap. They don't take, for some reason, they don't take that position serious. And so it's hilarious from that standpoint. And they also worked out Tavon Austin too. I just saw that on Twitter earlier today.
I'm sorry, that sounds a little funnier than Deshaun Jackson, but I'm with you. The Ravens they do consistently kind of not shoot for the big receiver, and look. I'll say this. I'll shoot you bail I'll try to shoot them bail since you're being so honest. I think wide receivers can be drafted. You know what I'm saying? I think that I think that's a situation where I think wide receiver is a position where kind of everybody wants to be it. It's a hot commodity, and people want to be receivers. Speed, that type of thing. So I think that's something that maybe you don't have to pay big for. You got a better chance of drafting it than having to pay big money for it. So I get in a cost efficient manner why the Ravens are going that route. As trying to find a receiver.
Historically, they've gone that route.
Right. Mm-hmm. But I won't speak historically, but I'll speak more so to football recently. You would probably rather get a receiver out of the draft cheap, hope he becomes something, and then have to pay him after he's giving you the production that he's going to give you. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of that is going to be on the second, third, maybe fourth year, and at that point he's kind of proven that he's going to be a commodity. Then you pay him, that type of thing. So I'm not necessarily against that plan. I think for Baltimore is that it just hasn't worked yet. I mean, Rashad Bateman, Perryman, the list kind of goes on.
The thing with Bateman, because I don't want to put Bateman in the same.
And that's right, because he's new.
Yeah, and well, not just that he's new, but he's also hurt right now. He missed last week's game and he missed Sunday's game against the Giants. And the way they're talking, it might be another week or so before he gets back on the field. What I can't rock with is that you're not, because Bateman's our number one, even though he's not a true number one receiver. He's our number one. So Duvernay's the next guy up, right? And then you got some guys, Prochet, Wallace. You got those guys, the third, the fourth guys. The offense doesn't cater to the third and fourth receivers. I mean,
Right.
on Sunday, if you were watching the Giants game, sometimes we were throwing 3 tight ends out there.
Yeah.
Oliver got some burn. I mean, he had like 5 catches. Andrews is Andrews,
Yeah.
so, that he's a top 5 tight end. And, most of the time, that's kind of what they were lining up. And then Patrick Ricard, the fullback, that dude gets more snaps, it seems like, than the 3rd, 4th receiver. And it's like, come on, like, y'all gotta mix this thing up a bit. Like, we don't have Bateman. You're gonna have to do some things a little bit differently. And then I think the thing for me on Sunday that, and look, Lamar lost us the game. I'm gonna just be 100%
I didn't watch the game,
clear.
so yeah, I didn't watch the game. So
Lamar lost us the game. Even though you can argue defensively, I thought the defense was good through 3.5 quarters. I think when we went up 20-10, this was mid 4th quarter, about 8 minutes left. Lamar, we just threw the touchdown to Andrews. We go up 20-10. And then immediately the next drive, the Giants they go 75 yards on us, scores a touchdown. They cut it to 17-20. And then that's when the bad snap happened. That's when Lamar tried to throw across his body. Interception. Giants are set up in the red zone. Barkley scores a touchdown. They go up 24-20. And then, and even at that point, and while I was still pissed about what happened, I was like, okay, Lamar's got the ball. It's a minute 30 left. Lamar's got the ball. At least the game is in our hands. The penalties was a mess. I think we had like 10 penalties in the game. The one that we got on the 3rd and 1 where we were lined up, illegal formation, that brought us back to a 3rd and 6. And he Lamar just lost the ball. He fumbled the ball, and that was all she wrote at the end of the game. But yeah, I think the one thing I could point to amidst all of that is that Kenyon Drake was averaging 11 yards a carry in the football game. He had 10 carries for like 119 yards.
Oh, wow.
He had 4 runs that were 20 plus, yard runs.
Yeah.
And this was from 20-20. So the thing that frustrates me is we get inside the 5. We're at the 5, first and goal at the 5, and we throw the ball 3 times.
Yeah.
That's the most frustrating thing when your running back, and even though he's not the running back of choice, because Dobbins had like 7 carries, and then I think he sat the rest of the game. Like, you didn't see Dobbins for like the rest of the second half. After
was he? But was he bad? Was he bad or was?
I think he was bad, but I also think they were trying to preserve him because he's coming back off the ACL, and that he had a pretty bad injury. So I think they were trying to preserve him, but he also didn't produce. I think he averaged like 3.8 yards a carry or something like that. Even though they really didn't feed him enough, but Drake had the hot hand.
Right, I was going to say he had the hot hand. You're right.
Drake had the hot hand, so for me, it's like, okay, keep feeding this guy. This guy, he's carrying us. He's going to help us, get the victory. And we get inside the 5, man, and we throw the ball 3 times. And a couple of those drives, we had to settle for field goals.
Yeah.
I mean, this game should have been a blowout if we just kind of call the right plays when things are working. The running game was working on Sunday.
Yeah. Well, quite frankly, I'm glad you lost.
Of course you are.
Also, I called it.
And I saw you tweet this. Let me just say, you were projecting Saquon to have a monster game, which he really didn't have a monster game.
Fair.
He had, but they fed him though. They gave him 23, 24 carries, but he only had 80 something yards. So we held Saquon in check. I mean, he had the touchdown, but that was after the interception in the 4th by Lamar. So the stat line does look good on him, but for the most part, we contained him.
Well, you consider you said 20 carries for 80.
Somewhere along those lines.
So 4 yards a carry.
So that's actually less than that. That's more like 3.4. That's more. It's more like 3.4, something like that.
I'm sorry, 20 carries, and
It
80
was
yards.
north of that. It was 24, 25 carries
Okay. Okay.
on 80. It was
I
like
thought
82
you were saying
yards.
it was 20 carries. Okay. Got you. You
Yeah.
saying it was more than 20 carries.
Yeah,
Got you.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. They kept giving it to Saquon, but he didn't bust no big runs or anything. He didn't like gash us or
Okay,
anything
I
like
got you.
that.
I'm with you. I'm with you. No,
But
okay,
yeah,
I was about to say if he was averaging 4 carry, I mean, you didn't he didn't go crazy, but you definitely
right.
didn't.
Again,
Okay.
this was a 20-10 ball game in the fourth quarter with like 7 minutes left. We were en route to a victory. So we like I said in the beginning, we gave the game up. We gave it
I
away.
don't care. I still called it. Give me my shit.
No, I ain't giving you that.
Yeah. Give me my shit.
I ain't giving you that.
I'll make the Pittsburgh game quick. Tom Brady was off. But I'll take the win. Every day in the paint, I'll take the win. I mean, we had nobody in our secondary last week. I mean, absolutely nobody in our secondary. James Pierre, all from Millette. Some cat I don't even really know was got out there. I think Norwood got out there at safety. Like we were depleted in the secondary. So to come away with a victory, kudos to the pass rush. Alex Highsmith is the leading sack guy in the league right now. Kudos to him. But I have to believe, just based on what I watched, Tom Brady was partying a little too hard Saturday night.
So let me ask you something. Before the injury report came out, where Sutton was out, Minka's out, that whole secondary and a few other important pieces. Freiermuth, I think, didn't play. I wasn't surprised. And I remember we talked about this maybe last week or the week before. You referenced this 4-game stretch where it was Buffalo, Tampa, Miami, and then Philly.
Yeah.
I said that the game that you guys most likely would be able to win would be the Miami game, minus Tua. And I never said this on air here, but I thought about it and I said if there's a second game that they could get, I said it would be the Tampa game. And I said it for 2 reasons. Number one, it's in Pittsburgh. And number two, Tampa Bay ain't really been, hitting like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna lie to you. I wasn't surprised that you guys won. And the injury report came out, so it kind of changed some things. Because once you see that all those guys are out, it's like, oh snap! Now, what I mean? It's hunting season for the Buccaneers. Like, they could kind of pull away with this W, but the way the Buccaneers have been hitting lately, I'm kind of not surprised that they won this football game. It was on the road, like you said. Tom Brady is, partying it up with the Crafts and and some of the old Patriots alumni the night before. What was it? The night before, or was it Friday night?
I thought it was the night before. I believe it was Saturday.
It was Saturday night.
I believe so.
Yeah. Like the Buccaneers. They got some issues, and I think it kind of goes beyond Tom Brady. I guess the questions about him being committed to the team because he's got personal stuff going on, and
because he's older,
and because he's older, right? I don't buy that team right now. Like, I know people are saying, well, it's Tom, they'll get it together, and the Bucs are one of the tops in the NFC. I don't know.
When you say buy them, though, what you mean? Like, you don't see them making the playoffs by them?
No, I don't see them. I don't see them going to the Super Bowl.
I don't see them going to the Super Bowl either, though.
I'll go a step further. I don't see them going at this point. I don't think they're getting a bye at this point. But
it's only one bye, right?
It's only one bye, right?
They're not getting a bye. Yeah,
I don't see them getting a bye. Quite frankly, I don't see them getting the number 2 seed in the conference.
You know what? Yeah, like I don't know that what you're saying are high. You haven't hot taked me yet. I don't feel like.
Okay, so you're kind of on the same page as
Yeah,
me.
I don't.
Like
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
kind of feel the same way I do about what we've seen of the Buccaneers up to this point and what
But
we think.
I kind of felt that way before. I mean, like I don't feel like this was a top two team. Look, and I get that this may not be the case now, but going into the season, um, the Rams, I gotta respect them as champions, especially considering that not a whole lot had changed, from last year's roster to this year's roster.
Yeah,
Um,
Wentworth
uh,
retired. That's a big deal.
that's a big deal, but I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and obviously it is a big deal with how the offensive line is playing.
Yeah,
But I didn't think that was going to be as big as a deal as it was going into the season.
yeah.
So them, I mean, I wouldn't say I was high like Philly was going to be a number 2 seed, but I definitely on paper was willing to say that
They were going to win the East.
and that they were a better team than Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I'm saying. I don't know that I had Tampa Bay as a top 2 team in the East. I mean, in the NFC anyway.
Yeah.
So this is not like for me. I feel like they're more on course. This is a big win for Pittsburgh. One, because we needed it bad as hell.
Yeah.
And two, because we didn't like they should have shredded us.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Tom Brady doesn't go to that wedding, I think he's refreshed and ready to play football tomorrow. That Sunday, I think he does what he would have. What I kind of hoped he would.
What everyone thought. What everyone thought.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, nobody had us winning.
Yeah. One of your fellow Steeler faithful. I'm gonna give her a shout out on Twitter. She goes by the name of D. Love Sports. She's a Pittsburgh fan, and she doesn't hide it. Sunday morning, she up posting videos. She's got this black and yellow fur on, and she's doing like TikTok video dancing and getting ready for the game and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, you know what? As much as I hate the Steelers, I gotta respect that. I gotta respect the fan that know their team is trash, but still out there, going to the game, posting about the game, getting ready to watch it and all this stuff. I ain't seen a peep out of you all morning and all up through the afternoon, up until that game was over, man. I was like, yo, where Maestro at? I'm on Twitter Sunday morning. I'm looking for Maestro. Like, yo, where Maestro at?
Well, full disclosure, I was busy, so it wasn't like I didn't want to tweet. I had a lot going on. Baby mama birthday was Sunday, so I was like trying to get the kids to her.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. There's a whole nother story behind that.
I know.
But in any stretch of the imagination, I was busy, and so I didn't really get to, I mean, if I'm being even more honest, Trey, I watched the second half of the game in my car, riding in my car.
So you missed the first half.
No. I saw the first half.
Oh,
but I
okay.
had to make moves.
Okay.
So I ended up having to watch the second half in the car. Kenny Pickett. I probably left right around the time Kenny Pickett got hit.
Yep.
With the and man, I hope he plays. I hope he plays Sunday night. But I do gotta say, shout out to Mitch Trubisky for.
I was gonna say
he did what was necessary to win the game.
Yeah. Because the Bucs was coming, and the Bucs ain't look good. If
he don't have to start Sunday night, I would prefer he not.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to do the back and forth thing. I don't want to do that.
Yep.
But shout out to him for doing what he should do as a backup quarterback.
Yeah. You don't want to do two things. You don't want to do the back and forth if it has to do with performance, and obviously the change at quarterback on Sunday, that wasn't a performance issue. That was Kenny Pickett going through a concussion protocol, which has he been cleared?
No, he hasn't been cleared yet, but if he can be cleared before it's time, Tomlin said he will be the quarterback.
Okay.
So he said it without a hesitation. If there's an opportunity that he can play Sunday legally, he'll play Sunday night legally.
So on the topic of concussion, I guess let's shift to Sunday night's game. Dolphins and the Steelers. Tua is cleared.
Yes.
And even though I personally don't believe he should play for reasons that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, it looks like the Dolphins are gonna make him play. And I think Tua wants to play. Let me be clear about that.
That's what I was just about to say. I don't think they're making him. I don't think they're making him play. I think he wants to play.
Yep.
He's not. He hasn't been pinned. Like it's not in stone that he's going to play. But he's preparing. Is what it says. He's preparing. To be the number one on Sunday night. I hope that he needs to take. I hope he needs the rest. I'll say that. I hope he needs the rest. It.
I mean, the Dolphins are on a 3-game losing streak, and they desperately need a win.
I desperately need a win.
Sure. But the Dolphins, who we kind of, the first 3 weeks, the honeymoon was all good, and now, 3 weeks later, they're 3-3. Kind of like most of the league is 3-3. Looking kind of average right now. And look, they got beat by a better team on Sunday. Vikings were just a better, football team. The Dolphins with the quarterback situation, Teddy goes down with a concussion, and now, what's the name? They had Thompson in there on Sunday. Well, no, Thompson was in there, and Thompson got hurt, and then they had to bring Teddy in relief of Thompson on
I don't
Sunday.
know who that third quarterback is. I don't even know his name.
I don't know his first name. I know his last name's Thompson. I didn't even know the guy when he came in against the Jets the previous week. But they got issues at that quarterback spot. So I'm sure they're thrilled to get Tua back. I'm sure Tua wants to play. Me personally, just for health concerns and the fact that he had 2 concussions in 4 days a few weeks ago, I don't think he should play, but I wouldn't mind seeing the Dolphins beat Pittsburgh at the same time.
I mean, take the week off. Take the week off, player.
Yeah,
we need this win.
And the thing that nobody's talking about, and the Sunday night people was kind of doing a little preview to next week's game. Nobody talks about the Flores connection because Flores is on the Pittsburgh staff, coaching the defense, kind of going to Miami, to his former team that let him go. The team that he's not suing the team. He's suing the league. But, I'm sure that conversation is going to be brought up as, as the game, gets to it. But I'm surprised that they kind of left that out.
I would imagine that they don't want to talk about Brian Flores and them suing the NFL on an NFL broadcast.
I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk about that.
I could see them not want to talk about Dan Snyder's ass too.
Yeah.
So I and speaking of that, so I watched the second half of that Bourne game, bruh. Like, you get back-to-back Thursday night Bourne games, bruh. So they did make mention about Snyder making threats to the owners about, I'm going to dig dirt on y'all. If y'all going to, take me down, I'm taking all of y'all with me. Shout out Nino Brown.
Facts.
Shout out Nino Brown, right?
Facts.
So an update. So Irsay, the owner of the Colts, came out today and was like, look, I'm a part of the movement to get Snyder up out of there, basically. And basically it was like, look, he can dig up all the dirt on me that all he want, but we want to get him up out of there, whatever. And so go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's also a rumor flying around that he could be voted out.
He could be voted out, but it's got to take 24 votes to get him out. So 24 out of 31 or 32, however that works. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to get to 24. But I do think that they're inching closer to forcing him to sell the team in some way. I don't know how that's going to take into effect because, again, he's trying to get a new stadium. Washington, D.C. don't want to give it to him. I know he's trying to move him out to Woodbridge, which, fan base ain't going for that. or at least people that look like us in that fan base ain't going for that. At some point, man, people gonna get tired of this thing, man. Like, you know what I mean? The team sucks. The team sucks.
Team sucks.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out Brian Robinson though. Brian Robinson
he's a stud.
I'm just saying I believe he got the start
Thursday. Over Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, I believe he got the start. And he did get in the end zone.
Yeah,
I found but I just wanted to make sure we shouted him out because this was his his second. This is his second game actually playing, but this was his first start.
Okay, yeah. So the team sucks. Carson Wentz is gonna be out for God knows how long. So they got the Heineke man gonna start on Sunday. I forget who they play. The whole team's a mess. I mean, even a coach threw Wentz under the bus in the press last week. It's like,
yeah, I didn't hear what he said.
Well, someone asked him at the press, "Hey, what's the difference between you and the other NFC East teams? Like, Cowboys 4-2, Giants 5-1, Eagles undefeated. Like, what's the difference between y'all and what these other teams are doing?" And Rivera was like, "Quarterback." Like
Jeez.
That. He said quarterback. And I was like, God, man, what?
Man. Oh,
like, okay. Ain't you the dude? Ain't you part of the crew that decided, hey, we gonna trade for Carson Wentz? Like that's wild, man.
That's pretty honest of him.
It is, but the man at the end of the day, he chose him. He was part of the committee that chose to trade for him.
That don't mean he ain't make a mistake.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true too, because he's made some mistakes now.
I mean, obviously that's unprofessional and all those types of things, but I mean, look, Carson Wentz ain't playing good quarterback.
Yeah,
that's just what it is.
Yeah,
that's just what it is. He's not playing good quarterback, and it's crazy because if Taylor
Heineke,
if Heineke doesn't while he's out, he's going right back to the bench, and it's not like that the Commanders don't already know what they got in Taylor Heineke, so it's not like, you know what I'm saying. So it's just this thing that the quarterback room is not good. It's just what it is. The quarterback room is not good, and it's affecting the team obviously. So, sucks to be a Commanders fan.
Yeah. You work with a bunch of them, I know.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the office over there is they're not real happy with what's going on.
Well, they got a W. I think when your team isn't good, if it's for a talent reason or if it's for an execution reason, I think when you don't have a good team, when you don't have a good team, you just take the moment and appreciate that they got you a win, no matter how ugly, no matter how dirty it is. See, you don't have that problem because Baltimore, talent-wise, is there, and for the most part, let me say, execution is there.
Yeah.
That's the expectation, that's the standard, and for the most part, outside of injuries, Baltimore is that's what you expect from Baltimore. You got your franchise quarterback, all the accoutrement, if you will. But in a situation like Washington, and maybe the roster isn't there, but in comparison to a situation like Pittsburgh, like, we don't have the execution down. Like, I think we got talent on Pittsburgh. I just don't think we have the execution thing down. Like, we haven't put it all together yet.
Yeah.
So we just happy to. My point is that we're just happy to get a win, no matter how ugly it is.
You don't gotta get them when it comes.
You don't really go into games expecting a whole lot. Can we come out with a victory?
Yeah.
And so Commanders fans came out with a victory.
Yep.
And I think most fans are just happy that was the end result. There was a victory.
It's like I said a few weeks ago. If you're in the same weight class as the other team, and I do think that the Bears are in the same weight class as Washington.
Yeah.
You got to find a way to beat that team, and I'm sure the Bears felt the same way last week.
Yeah, you would think. It's interesting because Justin Fields. Where you stand with Justin Fields right now?
I think Justin Fields is handicapped by the team he plays for, the front office, and I think the offensive line is they're just bad on the offensive line.
Okay.
And I don't know what the Bears' cap situation is. I don't know what their situation was during the offseason where they could have made some trades, free agency, the draft, but it seemed like they didn't really address all that much to make sure that Justin Fields was going to be all good. You know? I mean, he's got a good running back in Montgomery. He's got a couple good backs.
I was about to say, 'cause Herbert is good too. Yeah.
Herbert's good, yeah. He got a couple good running backs, but and I think the play calling too. You alluded to play calling in Pittsburgh. I think the play calling with the Ravens is a little bit suspect too. Play calling in Chicago is really suspect.
Yeah.
I don't think they put him in the right situations to be successful.
Okay. That's fair. I just wanted to check the temperature with Justin Fields because 2 years.
This is his second. It'll be your second year, yeah.
Second year. Mm-hmm. Okay, you expect them to start flipping the switch around year 2, year 3.
Yeah. Even if they lose games, if they perform better, like if they're performing in these games, then you could say, okay, you're seeing some improvement. They just got to know how to win. Yeah. Well, they don't know how to win, and you don't really see the improvement because the offensive line is not intact.
Right.
So,
okay.
And that's a new coaching regime also.
Right, 100%.
That's 100%. The other thing too. New coach, new general manager, and you would think that you want to start off with protecting your quarterback, and they haven't done a good job of doing that.
Yeah.
Still early to rate them though. As a front office, anyway.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say it. Now I think we know who they are as a team.
We definitely do that.
But we know who they are as a team.
As a front office, we know we know we got to give them some time there. So the upset of the week, man. Those New York Jets, man, go up to Lambeau Field and they get it done. I mean, they controlled that game from beginning to end, man. I watched a little bit of that, and offensively they weren't perfect, the Jets that is. But defense, they was getting after it, man. Special teams, they did their thing, had a block punt for a touchdown. I think they had a pick six field goal. Yeah, block field goal. Too. Yeah, the Jets, man, that's a team right there, man. I mean, we might have to question ourselves and say, hey, is this team a playoff team at this point?
Okay, well, I will, we're going into week 7.
We're going into week 7.
I will entertain the Jets being a playoff contender without looking at their schedule because I trust, or I'm assuming that their schedule isn't that strong.
So, without knowing the order, I think I could pick out the opponents. So they still got to play New England twice, right? And I think Belichick has this thing over the Jets where, if he's gonna put 50 points on them, he's gonna do that. So you got that. So they still got to see the Patriots twice. They still got to see Buffalo twice. Those I think is definitely one L. I would say they would lose both games to them, just the way Buffalo's playing right now. Right. And I still have yet to see the Jets offensively have a couple to maybe 3 good weeks of football because they've been winning these games on the defensive side. I know the Pittsburgh win.
That was an offensive ass whooping.
That was offense. That was an offensive game in Pittsburgh, but the past couple of games, the one against Miami, that was a little bit of offense, more defense.
Okay.
Against Green Bay, that was all defense, special teams for certain there. So I'm looking at it, and I know they got the Broncos next week, and the Broncos don't look all that great now.
And I'm willing to bet that's a win.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So you got that. They still got to play the Dolphins again in South Beach. That might be a December game, I'm not sure, but who knows what the Dolphins will be at that point. And then you got some of the NFC teams, right? So they just played Green Bay, so Minnesota's on that schedule. The Bears is on that schedule, so that should be a dub for them right there.
Right.
The Lions is on the schedule. That could be interesting. That could be.
But I'll give just based on what both teams look like right now, I'd give the dub to the Jets right now.
Okay, yep, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I look at the Lions offensively, and you're like, yeah, they could put points up, but then you get shut out by Bill Belichick, and it just kind of changes the whole narrative on the Lions at that point.
And then more than that, the Jets. I mean, one thing you can't say, you can't sleep on that defense. That front seven is good. Sauce
Gardner, yeah.
Good. Rookie year, he's good.
Quentin Williams he balling right now.
Yeah, so you kind of got to look at that defense, like, and at bare minimum say they're playing good defense right now. And the New York Jets are. I mean, right now I am willing to. I'm not saying they're going to the playoffs, but I am certainly willing to entertain the idea that they could possibly go to the playoffs right now in week 7.
And they got to play one of the AFC South teams. And my guess is it's either the Texans or the Jaguars. Since it's a last place, they both finished last place.
Right,
so
right,
I'm assuming it's one of those two teams. So
and I would be willing to bet. And again, this is just right now. I'm willing to bet that they would beat both of those teams.
Yep. So yeah, I'm with you, man. They are a playoff contender at this point. I mean, you look at that division in the East and the AFC, bro. Everybody's 500 and above. I mean, I think everybody expected that to be what the West was supposed to be, the AFC West. You know what I mean? I watched some of that game last night, and some of it was entertaining, but then, the Broncos that I guess we know of to be this year, they show up in the second half, and Russell Wilson's thrown for 15 yards in the second half.
Yeah. And
that game went into overtime. So, something. What's your take on Russell Wilson at this point?
I don't have a take, Trey. If I'm being honest with you, Trey, he sucks right now. Not as a quarterback, not as a career or Right now, he sucks, and I don't pretend to have watched enough Broncos to know what's the problem or how it could be fixed. I know that Hackett is taking a lot of flack as well.
Yep.
So I would assume that has something to do with it. But right now, Russell Wilson sucks.
Yeah.
And until he got to hold that's the case.
Yeah, they're wasting that defense because I think that defense for Denver is really good, and I think they've been the most consistent unit up through 6 weeks. I mean, they held the Chargers to 13 points up until overtime. I mean, that's all. I mean, that's a high to me. Even without Keenan Allen, that's a high-powered offense. That's an offense that should put off 20, 30 points. So the fact that they was able to hold them to that 13 points tells you if, Denver's offense, if Russell Wilson can get it together, this team could be a playoff contender. Legit.
Yeah, but not this year.
Yeah, it don't seem like it.
I don't think they figure it out. Javonte Williams is out. Or injured at least. Melvin Gordon seems to not be getting carries, and I didn't know that
he's having funbulitis. This year.
I did not know that Murray was on the Broncos. I didn't
even know he was
Murray?
there.
Yeah. I didn't even know he was with the Broncos.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that, and I don't even see how Melvin Gordon was the number 2. With Latavius Murray on the roster.
Yeah, he got demoted to number 2 because Melvin Gordon was the lead back in the first few weeks of the season. He was the lead back. But I think he got demoted because of the fumbles.
I think they were splitting carries. I don't know that he was like maybe when on a broadcast and they should have ticker they showed Melvin Gordon as starting running back. But I'm pretty sure because I had both backs on my fantasy team that's trash. Gotcha. That they were splitting carries.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But but Melvin Gordon has definitely had issues with fumbles this year. I mean, it's part of why they're so bad in the red zone. It's partly him, but mostly it's Russell Wilson, and I don't know what's going on with homie, but and they committed to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They gave him the contract.
They gave him the contract.
7 years.
Yeah. Well, it's only year one, so I'm not gonna sit here and he's playing like trash right now, and you gotta think that Russell Wilson, based on his resume, they'll be all right.
They got to figure it out at some point.
But they'll be all right. I don't think they figured it out this season. I mean, to be honest, I think they're going to be I get how many wins they got? 2.
Yeah, they're 2-4.
I give them 7 wins.
7-10. Yeah, 7-10. Yeah.
I give them 7.
Yeah, that sucks. that was one of my playoff teams right there. I might have to give that up. Definitely gonna have to give it up on the Raiders for certain. The Raiders are 1-4. I think they had a bye week this past week, so who they got? I think they got the Texans on Sunday. That should be a win for the Raiders if that's the case. You got to beat the Texans. That's a win you desperately got to have.
I don't know, Damian Pierce. Mm-hmm. He cooking down there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he a nice back.
He cooking down there.
He a nice runner. They just gotta figure out to win games. They did win. They did win the previous week. I forget who they. Oh, they beat Jacksonville, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, what happened in Jacksonville?
Well, like I said, I ain't believe them to begin with. I mean, shout out to them on 3-0, but I ain't believe them.
Yeah, they were 2-0 actually.
2-0. I'm sorry,
they were 2-0, but they looked, even in the first 2 losses, they still looked good. But the last 2 weeks, they ain't been looking good. But I take that back. They did okay against the Colts. That was a little bit of a shootout, but Indy got the best of them there. So so they're 3-2-1. Indianapolis is, so they're right there with the Titans at 3-2, and I think that's sets up for they got a game Sunday against each other. So whoever wins that's gonna have a little bit of command in the South for that one.
Yeah, I want to switch back to the NFC East real quick because we didn't talk about Dallas versus Philly.
Yep.
Look, Philly, I think we just got to go ahead and say that Philly's the real deal. I think we just got to go ahead and say it now. Does that mean they're going to the bowl? I don't know, but I think we just got to go ahead and say in the NFC. Does anybody scare you more than Philly?
San Francisco? I should say a healthy San Francisco, hoping that they get those guys back on defense.
Yeah,
experience is everything, bro. And
sure.
and I know you don't like the quarterback, and I get it. Garoppolo can, if you give him too much to handle, he can lose the game for you. I get it, but that team.
Minnesota over San Fran right now?
Would I take Minnesota? Yeah, I would take Minnesota over San Francisco.
Right, you would like right now. Right now, for me, I gotta say it's Philly number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I'm talking about Super Bowl contentions, Philly right now, Minnesota, and I
gotta say Dallas.
That was just going to say I'm torn between San Fran and Dallas. I
gotta say Dallas. I'll put San Francisco behind Dallas, and we talked about the 2 defenses last week.
Yeah.
Dallas clearly is the number 1 defense. I think San Francisco's right behind them with number 2.
But I didn't see a lot of that game because I was dealing with my mental issues. But I heard they look really lost.
Who's it? San Francisco?
No, Dallas against Philly. I heard that. I heard they looked real. I heard.
You know what?
I heard some linebackers was getting froze up.
Yeah, you know what, man? That kind of offense, I'm not surprised. Like they look. So I thought about this. So I remember a game the Ravens played against the Patriots 3 years ago. This was Lamar's MVP season, and the Patriots came to our house. We beat the Patriots by like 3 scores. The Patriots at that point were like, I don't know if they were undefeated, but they were one of the best, teams in the conference, record-wise, right? Mm-hmm. And we kept saying, well, they have yet to see an offense like what the Ravens had leading up to that point. So I kind of compare that to kind of going into Sunday night against Dallas and Philly. Like Dallas, that was going to be the first offense that they were going to see like that, and for Philly, it was going to be the first defense that they faced this year that was like that.
Yeah,
and you kind of saw that Dallas was unable to do anything with it.
Yeah, but yeah, I understand that logic, but for me, Micah Parsons is being touted as the next Lawrence Taylor, and including and Gallimore as a dog. DeMarcus Lawrence is obviously a dog,
Right?
You know what I'm saying. So with that being said, and I was telling my little sister, that I thought Dallas was going to pull it out. I just thought they was going to pull it out. Even with Dak not playing, I felt like that defense was going to show Philly like, hey, like we here, and now that they know, like, hey, Jalen Hurts, geez, like, hey, you better be able to score with us because
I think in response to that game, they need Dak Prescott.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, that's what I was leading to.
Yep.
You better be able to score with us because I don't know if you're gonna be able to. If you can't score with us, I don't know if you're gonna be able to stop Jalen Hurts enough,
right,
to win a game.
Right. And a big turning point in that game was right at the half. Lane Johnson gets a concussion. He can't come back in the game, and all of a sudden, the backup tackle that they had in place of Lane Johnson, Micah Parsons, was going right through him. That's how Dallas got back in the game. That's how Dallas was able to rack off 17 straight points to cut it, to 3.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to part 2 as a football fan.
For sure.
I'm definitely looking forward to part 2 for that one, and hopefully Dak is 100% healthy. Hopefully Lane Johnson at that point is, cleared of concussions or whatever else is going on. I hope that both squads is healthy. And look, on the Eagles defense, Darius Slay is an animal, man.
Yeah.
Like and these Eagle DBs,
but
they cover.
Because the other corner is good too.
Yeah, they cover, man. I mean, they was batting balls down.
Yeah.
Bradbury, they was batting balls down. I mean, they was in coverage. Like the coverage was great. So I think it's gonna be one of those blockbuster games. Whenever that part 2 game comes up, and I'm all here for it as a football fan.
Dak better be ready. That's all I'm gonna say. Dak better be ready.
Yeah. So he's gonna come back next week. It sounds like.
Is that what it sounds like?
That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
Well, there were rumors that he could have played against Philly.
Well, I'm gonna say this: he couldn't play for Philly because if he could have played for Philly, he would have played for Philly. That's not a game. That's not a
That's true. That is true.
You rest if you can go. That's a game you go for.
That's true. And maybe he wanted to. Maybe he wanted to play.
What I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He couldn't have been ready. That's what I'm saying. He couldn't have been ready because that's not a game. That's not a game at this stage of the game. This is because, and I get it's still early in the season, but that's the big dogs right now. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't send Cooper Rush out there if Dak Prescott could play. You just don't do that.
Yeah. Well, with this franchise, you never know because the owner likes to run his mouth and likes to make headlines.
Yeah, but we know what's real. Like he know Dak Prescott is their quarterback. Like that's smoke and mirrors. That's not even smoke and mirrors.
Sure.
That's just good publicity. That's
sure.
Right.
Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make in me saying that the owner likes to run his mouth, because that's how there was this rumor about him possibly playing, is it doesn't necessarily mean that Dak didn't want to play. I'm sure he wanted to play.
Oh yeah. I don't even think Dak wanted to play. To the next week
when he hurt his thumb.
Yeah. I'm sure. So I don't think that wasn't the question. Dak, that was more so to say. He couldn't have been ready because that's not a game you miss.
Sure.
That's just not a game you miss.
It's kind of like Tua they Tua wanted to get back in the Buffalo game because Buffalo is the big
game.
dog.
Yeah, that's not a game you missed. Right.
Yeah.
That's not a game you missed.
So speaking of Buffalo, this is the best team in the league, and it's the
if I'm looking at it on paper, Trey.
Yep.
If I'm sorry, not on paper. If I'm looking at the eye test.
Yep.
Josh Allen is playing the best quarterback right now. But the running game is non-existent.
Facts.
The defense can when they play
they can be ran on. Yep.
When they play with the big dogs, they
Yep.
some chinks in the armor show up.
Yep.
So I don't know if I'm willing to say they're the best team in football. What I will say is that they're the class of the AFC as it stands right now.
Yeah. It's them and the Chiefs and it's everybody else, really.
In the AFC.
In the AFC, yeah.
Okay.
It's them and the Chiefs and it's everybody else. I mean, it's a toss up who the third best team in the conference is. It's really a toss up.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree there. And look, and Buffalo pulled it out. So no matter how you feel, no matter how you felt about it going into it, or even after it, where it stands right now, that it wasn't an ass whipping, but it was a win. It was a win. It was a non-questionable win. You know what I'm saying?
Even when they scored to take the lead, I was like, you got a minute left, and we all know a minute is an eternity for Patrick Mahomes, and he threw the interception, which was a bit, I don't want to say it's uncharacteristic, because we've seen him make those kinds of throws in those types of conditions. It's just the Buffalo defender made a better play on the ball.
Yeah.
That's really all it is. You got to give credit to Buffalo for closing the win, sealing
closing the game,
for sealing it. So
I'm not ready to say they're the best team. I mean, I guess you kind of have to give it to them, but but I guess that kind of changes every week too, or it can change every week.
It can.
I guess I gotta give it to them this week. But if I'm looking at the eye test, I don't know that they're the best team in the league right now.
Between Philly and Buffalo, who you taking?
I think I'm taking Philly right now.
You taking Philly right now?
I think I'm taking Philly right now.
Okay.
I'm taking Philly right now.
What's Philly's weaknesses right now?
What's Philly's weaknesses right now?
And I wouldn't even call it that they have holes. I think it's more so, and I've watched some of their games, and they strike at you like in the first half of games, and in the second half, they're like holding on, for wins.
Kind of playing prevent.
Yeah. So if I was to say that there was a weakness, I would say that they don't put the foot to the pedal.
Because they don't have that experience, and Buffalo knows better. Buffalo knows better.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So if anything, I think it's that. It's not so much that they lack a position here or there. I think it's just that.
Okay. I don't know that I watched enough to give a concise opinion about what their weakness is on the field. But yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, we just watched Dallas score 17 in the second half, so I can get with that. But I do think, I think right now Philly gets Buffalo. If it had happened this coming Sunday, I think Philly gets Buffalo.
Okay. I mean, there's no argument. I mean, it's clearly like if you had to go Super Bowl in a situation, I mean, that's probably people's pick right now. If they were to look at the teams right now, they probably say Buffalo and the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl.
Could you see Minnesota going to the Super Bowl?
I can't.
Okay.
It's Kirk Cousins, man, and I know he's played some good ball. He's played some good ball lately, but what do we talk about? We talk about when the moments shine the brightest. When we need you to make a play, you got to be able to make a play. And Kirk Cousins, more times than not, hasn't been able to do that. So I don't know if I could see them in a Super Bowl. Could I see them in the NFC Championship game? Absolutely, I could see them in the NFC Championship game.
Okay.
I could definitely see them there.
Yeah, I just want to know. I'm again temperature check. I don't know. I just know that they look like a really good team right now.
Yeah. They, and quite frankly, I don't think they've been really tested just yet. I think the schedule has been soft for them for the most part. They beat Green Bay opening week. We know Green Bay's got some problems, and I'll get to Green Bay in a second, but just to kind of count their wins, I mean, Chicago, Miami, I'm missing one, but they're not, I don't see the signature win yet.
Right.
In the Viking schedule yet.
Right. I just know they look good though.
So they do.
They look good.
They
look
do.
Good.
They do. They got a number one receiver. So you got that. You got a top 5 back, and the defense is playing a little bit better.
And Adam Thielen is doing great at number 2.
Yeah. Which he should have been all along, even when Diggs was there. But Green Bay. What's wrong with the Packers?
They don't have a number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even. Yeah, I heard you say I'm gonna get to them later, and I'm like, there's no need. They don't have a number 1 receiver. They don't. I mean, no, with respect due, I don't know that Lazard is a number 2 receiver.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with Aaron Rodgers.
He might be trying to do too much.
From what I saw against the Jets, and that's a very good defensive line in New York. Offensive line couldn't hold up, bro.
Yeah.
They couldn't hold up. I mean, Rodgers, for the most part, masked a lot of the deficiencies on the offensive line. And so you got a point there. And then, like you said, with the wide receiver core, they got to go get Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
They
I don't know what's taking so long.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know what's taking so long.
Well, here's the thing. He got hurt in the Super Bowl.
Right.
We're not even a calendar year removed from the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And usually those kinds of injuries take about a year to heal from. Sure. So I think that's what's holding it up.
But isn't the conversation because this isn't we ain't the first people to say they need to pick up Odell Beckham.
Right.
So the conversation is that he's ready to go. Right?
I don't know if the conversation is he's ready to go. I think the conversation is who should go get Odell Beckham. And it could just be who down the stretch when it gets to week 14, week 15, who needs Odell Beckham more.
I can't fathom why Green Bay wouldn't. Even if that's the case,
yep.
I can't fathom why Green Bay doesn't pick up Odell Beckham and have him in your locker room and right
they
now.
They gotta call him. Don't call the agent or whoever. Yeah,
I don't see how that deal hasn't been done unless it's a money thing. I don't see how that deal hasn't been done.
Yeah,
already.
He's a free agent, so let's remember that too.
I know. So why hasn't that deal been done? I can't fathom for the life of me.
Two sides. It's two sides, and maybe he want to go back to L.A. Maybe he want to play with the Rams, and we know the Rams got some issues. And maybe Odell Beckham, could fix some of those issues that the Rams got. Maybe he's thinking,
But why the Rams wouldn't even? But why wouldn't they even? Why even? Oh, I get why you would cut him. I understand why you would cut him.
Well, no. He didn't get cut. His contract expired.
His deal expired, right?
Yep.
But why? I even understand why they just let it expire. I understand that. Mm-hmm. At this stage of the game,
yep,
you're not paying a lot for him. You're almost halfway through the season.
They dropped the stock. Yeah,
the stock has dropped.
Mm-hmm.
So at this stage of the game, I don't understand why anybody that's in need of wide receiver services,
mm-hmm.
because you want to make a push for the playoffs, the Super Bowl, wherever you stand at
mm-hmm.
in that team. Odell Beckham should be in your locker room. It's just there's just nothing about it. He
Yeah,
should be
even
in
if
your
he
locker
can't
room.
play right
Even
now.
if he can't play until week 13, if you know you're going to be in the conversation week 13, week 14, he needs to be in your locker room now. So
I don't know
all the
why. Yeah, I don't know why he's just on the couch, man. It's a good question you bring up. I don't know
There's
why
no
he's.
reason he's not in somebody's locker room right now. I mean, even Baltimore.
Yeah,
Why is he not? Why is that not a conversation?
yeah,
Why is he not in somebody's locker room?
yeah.
It's beyond me.
I don't
and
know.
and with no shade, people like Deshaun Jackson and Tavon Austin are in Baltimore.
Yeah, yeah. I don't
With
get
no
it.
shade to them too, because low key,
Odell Beckham's the better of the three right now.
that's all I'm getting at. That's
Right
all
now.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to say.
No shade. No shade at all.
No shade, no disrespect to Deshaun
OBJ
Jackson.
is the better of the three right now. Right now.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah. That's facts. That's facts. No
Yeah.
shade. Yeah, it's a mystery. But again, I don't see him playing until around December. I don't see him playing until around there. But I think you make a great
be in
point.
that locker room. Yeah, he could damn sure be in there working out.
Studying the playbook. Yeah.
Yeah, he could damn sure be working out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't get it. And again, I don't know the politics, but
Yeah.
he should damn sure be in the locker room.
It's going to get to a point where Odell Beckham, all the cost to get him is $1 million. It's going to get to that point.
Maybe people are waiting for that, but
Yeah.
I don't let somebody talent wise like Odell Beckham. I get that it would be cheaper that way, but I don't let him sit on the couch. I don't if I'm a GM.
You take a chance on that,
I
right?
don't, yeah. I don't
even
let
if
him
it's
sit on the couch.
$10 million, I take
Yeah.
a chance on that.
I take a chance on Odell Beckham. Yeah,
You know, and if it don't work out, okay,
Right,
it's
cool.
$10 million.
But yeah, I take a chance on Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Facts. Before we get to some hoops, man, NBA is back tonight. Got 2 games going tonight. Got some games going tomorrow. I see you got your Wizards jersey on.
Yeah, man, I couldn't lean it down so you could see the DC, but
Yep. No, I got you.
probably
In regard to wardrobes, I had to put on the pinstripes as the Yankees did win Game 5 today, and so they playing the Astros in the championship, and we'll see how that goes because that's basically part 3 for us. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, let's get into it, man. NBA, playoff teams, predictions. Where you at with it, man? I guess let's start with the East.
The East. Well, I don't look, bro. I hate to be that guy. I know I've been on this wagon for 2-3 years. Katie
About the
and
Nets.
Kyrie- yeah. Katie and Kyrie is going to the finals, bro. I'm sorry. I know I just took all the suspense out of it. I got them going to the finals.
You love you some KD, that's all right, man.
No, but it's not even just KD. It's KD pending something crazy happening in the winter. But for all intents and purposes, we know that Kyrie is going to play all season.
Yep. And Ben Simmons is back.
Ben Simmons is playing. He's back. He's playing basketball. Seth is there. Joe Harris is there. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
the pieces are put together where if everything stays kind of the same, I don't see nobody being able to stop KD and Kyrie. I don't see it. Not in the East.
Okay, well, they're certainly elevated, right? And I don't mean elevated because they got those guys, but when you look at what happened with the Celtics, with the change in the coach, and that could affect chemistry, I think that brings the Celtics down a few notches in the East. I don't think they're going to be extremely out of the playoff picture. I still got the Celtics around 4 or 5. But right now, I gotta go with the best player in the league, man, and that's Giannis right now. I'm gonna make Milwaukee the favorite right now until further notice, and that means I got to see the Nets really put it all together regular season wise, because I know in the playoffs they're gonna do some damage. I know that, but I got to see them put it all together regular season before I even go down that route. But for me, it's Milwaukee. It's for me. One is Milwaukee. Two, I'm gonna put the Nets at number 2. I'm not gonna drop the Nets that far. I'm gonna put the Nets number 2. Number 3, I really think Philadelphia with a James Harden that looks a little bit better in shape. I don't know what kind of production he's gonna put out, but he took a pay cut, so now it's basically Houston North with PJ Tucker on the roster. A few other guys. You still got Maxey. You still got Tobias Harris, and you got the MVP candidate in Joel Embiid, and who else?
Yeah, Matthias.
Thibault. Yep. So, yeah, Philadelphia, and I heard somebody say it on TV earlier today that they said that they could make the NBA Finals, and I was like, wow. Like, I mean, I'm not so sure of that, but I mean, they got the pieces in place. Yeah, they got the pieces in place. I mean, if there's one team in the East that's got that kind of pressure to make a run or even get to the Eastern Conference Finals, it's the Sixers.
Yeah, Doc Rivers, obviously. Look, I you know where I'm at with Harden, man. Like, if I'm wrong, cool, serve the crow up, but I don't think Harden is going to be that
because Embiid can't do it. Embiid,
not by himself,
a big man, yeah. But I'm talking about in crunch time. Like, you're not gonna throw it to Embiid and he gonna do something in the paint in crunch time. Like that ain't how this work. You know what I'm saying?
Not in this NBA.
It's a perimeter game.
It's not going to be no 5 or 4 back there dribbling and getting into the paint and getting an and one. Right? That's not how they wanted to rock nowadays. Yeah. So yeah, I agree with you on that. But James Harden, I don't know that he's that guy. And let's be clear, he's not that guy. Mm-hmm. But can he capture 75-80% of that guy, and if he could do that, I like their chances, but I still don't like them over Brooklyn. I just don't like them over Brooklyn. If you give me 80% James Harden with Joel Embiid, I even like them over Milwaukee, but I don't like them over Brooklyn.
Okay, I respect that.
Yeah,
I can respect that. So yeah, I think Philly. I got them 3. I'll put the Heat at 4. The Heat is always going to be a thorn in teams. And that team hasn't changed a lot. So, the Heat will be 4. I got Boston 5. So here's where it gets a little tricky here. Cause nobody's talked about these two teams, I feel like, in the offseason, and they were good last year. Yeah. Chicago and Toronto. Nobody's talked about these two teams in the offseason. We know what happened with Chicago down the stretch last year. Lonzo Ball is out. He's not going to start the beginning of this season. I don't know when he's going to come back. DeMar DeRozan, we don't know if we're going to get that DeMar DeRozan again this year.
Especially without a point guard.
Without the point guard. We could see some slippage in points per game from him. So I gotta see a little bit more from Chicago. Toronto is steady. But man, I don't know, man, because I know I'm gonna be wrong about this. I'm gonna say they're not gonna make the playoffs, and then they're gonna make the playoffs. So So here's what I'm gonna do. So I don't think Chicago makes it. If anything, they probably in that little 7 to 10 play-in. The same thing with Toronto. I think they're in a little 7 to 10 play-in joint, right? Mm-hmm. So give me Cleveland at number 6 with Donovan Mitchell there, and you still got those trees in the front court for Cleveland. Give me the Cavs at number 6. I'll go Atlanta 7 with Dejounte Murray's addition, and then and this is bias. I'm gonna put the Knicks at 8, and I'm really excited to see how this Jalen Brunson situation works. I believe we got a point guard now. I think that'll make Julius Randle more of the guy that he was when we went to the playoffs a couple of years ago. He doesn't have to bring the ball up. He could just play, as the second or third best player on the team. I'm expecting big things from RJ Barrett. He got his money. He got his extension. I think they're going to give him the keys to the rock and, let him be the dude to take the last shot. Yeah. I think I'm gonna be surprised this season. I think I'm gonna really enjoy watching this team this year. And they're young, and they got some young cats on the squad too. So
I have everybody that you have in the 8 outside of New York.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you feel about Indiana this year?
Indiana, that's a team that I think is just probably, I don't want to say they're tanking. I think because look, they traded Brogdon, right? Brogdon's, because
I forgot he left. He went to Boston.
Because Brogdon, he's not there no more.
He went to Boston, yeah.
And they're still trying to unload Miles Turner.
Yeah, but they hadn't yet. So
they haven't. But I think don't be surprised if they do at some point this season, because I don't think the Pacers are going to be any good this year.
Man, I forgot about Brogdon going to Boston now.
Mm-hmm.
I did forget about that. Okay, so I think I'm with you in your 8. I was looking at my because I kind of jotted down the list earlier today.
Yeah.
So I think I'm with you in the top 8. Maybe the seeding is a little mixed up, but I think we, I read my seedings. I got Brooklyn 1.
Yep.
Milwaukee 2, Sixers 3, Heat 4, Celtics 5, Cleveland 6, Toronto 7, and I got New York 8.
Okay. So no Atlanta for you.
No Atlanta for me.
Mm-hmm.
No Atlanta for me.
And we did kind of talk about them, once they made that trade, you kind of felt like they got the same play, like Trey and Dejounte kind of do the same things.
They both want the ball a lot.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think Trey's still going to be up there, 26, 27 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
Dejounte going to have to get up to 23, 24, I think, for this to work. And I don't know that he does that.
Yeah. Well, I think he does it.
Especially because he's not going to have the ball in his hand as much because he's going to be playing with Trey Young.
Right. Well, I think it's possible that they can average those numbers and they still not be a good team record-wise. Because let's face it, defensively, are they any better defensively? With Dejounte Murray?
I don't know about Dejounte Murray's defensive prowess.
Mm-hmm.
I know Capella's still there from that.
Yeah, he's still there.
Okay, defense.
Mm-hmm.
John Collins is not a smut at, he's not a smut at defense. I think Herter's gone though, right?
I don't know, but last I checked, he was still there.
Okay, yeah. See,
and they got shooters. Herter's a shooter.
Right.
The other white boy that's on there, he's a shooter.
Yeah, man. I think I'm changing that. I'm gonna put the Hawks at 8. Knicks are out.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm changing that.
All right. Respect. What's going on with the Hornets? I saw something tweeted by the team the other day. Another one of their players got into some legal trouble. Like they've had a crazy offseason.
You telling me some shit I ain't know. I didn't know that the Hornets were having players in legal troubles. All I was going to say is that LiAngelo didn't make the team.
Yeah, I saw that too. He's getting cut, and LaMelo's not going to start the season yet because of the injury or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that team's got all kinds of issues going on, man.
Yeah, I didn't know about any legal trouble though.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm gonna pull it back up, and maybe after the show I'll probably pull it back up or something. But yeah, that's a team that's been hovering around the play-in the last couple of seasons, and they just haven't been able to get over the hump. And really, they haven't really improved the team to
get over the hump.
Over the hump. So at some point, it wouldn't surprise me if LaMelo would be like, "Yo, I want up out of here."
I mean, I would hope that somebody recognizes how good LaMelo is going to be and go pair up with him. I mean, just frankly, they don't have a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, but what is it about Charlotte that players don't want to go to Charlotte? Like,
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe they just haven't.
I mean, it's not Miami. Like, if you're talking about destinations and warm climate, I mean, it's definitely not that. But
it don't have to be a marquee player. I mean, Chris Middleton plays in Milwaukee.
Right.
If you tell me Chris Middleton goes to Charlotte with LaMelo Ball and that roster, I say they make the playoffs.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I can see that.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I can see that.
I'm trying to think about another, like just a solid score.
Right.
If it's just a solid scorer can go there and play beside LaMelo, I think that team makes the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think they go far, but I think they make the playoffs.
Right. I can see that. I could see something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who, like, a Pascal Siakam. If Pascal Siakam goes to the Charlotte Hornets, I think the Charlotte Hornets could make the playoffs.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so like just a solid player.
A solid
that,
number
what
two.
I'm saying? You ain't gotta be LeBron or what I'm saying, like that type, upper echelon, just a solid if Bradley Beal went to the Charlotte Hornets, they would make the playoffs.
Most certainly, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to Bradley Beal while we on there. He got to average 16 points this year to be the leading scorer for the Wizards all time.
Franchise history.
Franchise, yes.
That's what's up.
Yeah, which is crazy to me. I mean, I guess time flies. You don't really realize how long he's been there.
Right. Who is the current one for the franchise?
If I want to say it's Hayes.
Elvin Hayes.
Yeah, I want to say it's Hayes.
Okay.
Don't quote.
That would make sense. That would make sense.
Don't quote me though. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, that's definitely
that's what's up.
And for all of the shit he's not a number one guy. He's I think the conversation of best wizard ever. I'm not ready to go. He's number one, but he certainly has to be in the conversation. He certainly has to be. I was about to say, don't do that. No. I'm not jumping out the window. I wouldn't dare. Wes Unseld is still exists.
Yeah,
but
Earl the Pearl still exists.
Yeah, I don't.
Even though he went to the Knicks later in his career, still,
I don't know if he's in the top wizard or bullets conversation tops.
I think he is. I don't think he's number one, but I think he's in the conversation. I think he's right there with Elvin Hayes. You just said it, Wes Unseld. What's the tall dude? What's the tall white dude?
Who? George Mirasan?
Mirasan, yeah.
Nah, he's not in that conversation.
No? Okay.
No.
Okay.
When I think about Wizards / Bullets, Rod Strickland comes to mind. Juwan Howard comes to mind.
Gilbert? You got to put Gilbert in there?
I am, but I don't know if that... I can't... I don't know if I'm being biased or not. But I am. John Wall obviously is in that conversation.
I think you're biased there.
He's in the conversation,
which is okay, but I don't know that the mass would put him in the conversation for that.
Okay. but Bradley Beal being drafted by the Wizards, being with the Wizards,
Mm-hmm.
even he's had his moments to be the number one guy, even though we don't feel like he really took full advantage of it like we wanted him to.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I think when he gets this title, because I think he's gonna get it.
Now that you say that, he drafted by the team and still plays for the team. Now that you say that,
All the turmoil about, because everybody feels like he should have been gone. Like,
yeah,
people, fans of him,
should be
like,
requesting a trade. Like he should
yeah,
be
he
out of there.
should be
Yeah.
gone. He should be going to get a championship somewhere, and he
Yeah.
didn't. He stayed pat. I mean, it's kind of the Damian Lillard conversation. Like, Damian Lillard has to be in the conversation for best Portland Trailblazer ever,
Mm-hmm.
because he was drafted there and because he stayed there and he produced there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't tell my cousin that.
But tell your cousin what?
Nah, shout out my cousin Wallace, because so when we had these conversations about who the best Blazer is all time and all this stuff, so we would post these clips on our IG, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my cousin would comment and be like, "Yo, what's wrong with y'all? Like, yeah, y'all ain't never heard of these guys, back in the day and all this stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, I get it. I understand that's your time and everything, but
who does he consider? I mean, Clyde.
yeah, Drexler.
Yeah, okay.
Drexler. And I don't think he mentioned Bill Walton, but I'm just thinking about, like, Blazers, like guys that were there and what, they only got one championship, in the late 70s. So I guess you got to pull somebody from that who was on that team, but
Yeah,
nah.
I think I mean, and part of my, I'm not as, I wasn't there for 70s Blazers, but for me it's Clyde Drexler and Damian Lillard. Like,
It's Dame. Yeah, Dame is in the conversation.
That's the conversation for Blazers for me. But I say all that to say, I'm gonna go ahead and congratulate Bradley Beal in advance because pending injury, he's going to be the leading scorer in Wizards Bullets history of all time, and that's not to be that's to be celebrated.
So, do you have the Wizards in the play-in?
I hope so.
Okay.
I hope so.
Porzingis, Thomas Bryant. Got a healthy Thomas Bryant coming back.
All I can tell you, bro, is I hope so. I haven't heard great things in the preseason. All I can tell you is I hope so.
Okay.
That's all I can tell you, bro.
Okay. All right. you rock the jersey, so I gotta ask.
Hey, and they still my squad, but but I hope so.
Yeah. All right. I hear you, man. All you can have is hope.
That's all you can have. Western Conference. What you looking at?
So I don't think it's gonna be the Warriors that'll be number one. I'm looking at you're gonna be surprised by this. I'm looking at the Clippers number one seed.
I'm not surprised by that.
Clippers number one seed. Number two, and this is gonna lead into my surprise MVP conversation. I really think the Timberwolves are going to be really great this season. Not saying that they're going to the finals or anything like that, but I really think that they're going to establish themselves as one of the top 3 teams out west. So give me the Timberwolves number 2.
Wow.
I'll put the Warriors number 3.
Okay.
Respectfully, I'll put them number 3. I will put Phoenix number 4, and I know we talked about the Suns maybe a few months ago. You thought they'd take a slide back, and I had to think about it. I said, you know what? There's too many teams out west getting guys back. You know what I'm saying? Like Kawhi's coming back. Jamal Murray's coming back. Right. So, yeah, I think the Suns will slide from what, they were the number 1 seed. So, so yeah, they take a big slide back. Number 5, I'm going to go Pelicans 5. I think they're improved. I think there'll be a continuation of what they were post getting CJ McCollum on the squad.
Right.
So I got them at 5. 6, I'm gonna go. And I think I gave it away because I think people thinking I'm reading off a list, but I'm really not reading off of a list. I'm just kind of going through in my head.
I'm reading through a list.
Number 6 in the West. You know what? Give me the Nuggets. Give me the Nuggets at 6.
Okay.
Because like I said, Jamal Murray coming back, and I think him and Michael Porter Jr. and the Joker and some of those guys are gonna have some really good years. Number 7, I'll go. Who am I leaving out?
You are leaving out.
Who's out?
Lakers,
Dallas,
the Lakers, and Memphis.
With Ja.
That's I didn't want to stop you. I wanted to let you cook.
Yeah, you know what? I might have to slide those teams. I might have to insert Memphis at like number 4. I might have to put Memphis number 4 and maybe slide Phoenix to 5, Pelicans 6, Denver 7, and number 8. You know what? Screw it. I'll put the Lakers at 8.
I definitely got. I mean, I got the Lakers. I mean, I don't have them at 8, but I mean, you got to put. I think you got to put the Lakers there.
Right. Yeah. I put them at 8.
Their shooting is still kind of trash, but again, if Anthony Davis, and you know what, it's kind of crazy that we still put them in the playoffs because them making the playoffs is solely contingent on Anthony Davis being healthy.
Yeah.
That's what it's contingent on.
Right, and I'm hanging my hat on that.
Right, but do we believe he's going to play 65 games?
No, but is he going to be out for 3/4 of the season, or maybe even 60% of the season? I don't think so. I think he'll miss some games, but I don't think he's going to miss significant time.
I hope that. Let's hope that.
Yeah.
Now ranking. I agree that the Los Angeles Clippers will be the number 1 seed in the West.
Oh, snap.
I 100% agree with that.
Okay.
I think I've been watching Ashley Baker too much on Twitter. John Wall is there, Kawhi, I think I'm forgetting who their starting point is, but because I've seen that John Wall is not going to start.
He's coming off the bench, yeah.
Yeah, which I don't care for, but cool, whatever. He's going to do what he does.
I think they're better that way, though.
I think he's going to do what he do regardless. Comeback player is well within reach for John Wall.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
But I got them at number 1. If I'm going and I'm kind of freestyling, I'm gonna go Memphis number 2.
That's not a bad pick.
I'm gonna go Memphis number 2. I'm gonna go Golden State 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Dallas 4. I'm gonna go Phoenix 5. I'm going to go I Denver 6. I'm switching that. Give me Denver 5, Phoenix 6.
Okay.
I got Denver over Phoenix this year. Like I said, I think Phoenix.
Who was your 4 again? I missed who your 4 was.
Hold on. For
Dallas. You said Dallas.
Dallas.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was confusing with Golden State. Dallas. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where am I at? 7.
Yep.
7. Give me the Pelicans.
Okay.
8. Give me Minnesota. Patrick Beverly. I think Patrick Beverly is going to be missing from Minnesota, and that's why I got them so
Good
low.
point.
I get what they did with Rudy Gobert, and I think that's going to help. But I think they're going to miss what he did on the perimeter, what Patrick Beverly did on the perimeter, and what he did in the locker room.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, they missing that dog.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we've talked about that with Minnesota teams
I
in the
think
past.
Anthony Edwards is a dog, but I don't think he's not ready. I don't know that he's ready to get behind it defensively like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. So no, but you said Lakers 8. You don't have the Lakers in
I
there.
don't have the Lakers now that I'm looking at it because I don't know that I'm willing to take out one because I don't know that I believe Anthony Davis is going to be healthy.
Yep.
Two, I don't know that I believe that
And
they're going to
Patrick
be
Beverly's
better.
there. We just talked about Patrick
That's
Beverly.
true. That's true. But I am battling between Minnesota and the Lakers.
Got you.
So I think for right now, yeah, never mind. Minnesota's out.
You taking them out?
Braun's still Braun. Braun's still Braun, Slim. Yeah, Braun's still.
He ain't
Braun.
missing it 2 years in a row though, B.
Braun, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I gotta take the Minnesota out. Braun's gonna average 25.
Mm-hmm.
Braun's gonna get the scoring title of all. Like, yeah, I can't leave Braun out.
Okay, so we
we
differ on Dallas then, because I got Dallas kind of out of that top 8, even though I think they'll probably, like in my opinion, they'll probably be 9 or 10 somewhere around there.
Man, I done forgot about Luka Doncic already, man.
No, it's not even Luka, man. I just wonder. And I know it hasn't been a lot of moments where you've seen Jalen Brunson on the court because he's the backup, and he played great in the playoffs.
But he had a small run, bro.
I know.
I let you cook.
He had a small run. He had a small run. I kind of question who's gonna be the ball handler when Luka's on the bench, and I'll be honest, the rest of the roster, because. What have we been saying throughout the playoffs?
He need help.
Yeah. So, did he get help this offseason?
But he still did what he did without help.
Sure. That's going to be hard to do in the Western Conference, man. I mean, again, Kawhi is coming back. Jamal Murray is coming back.
That's facts. So. I look where it stands right now, and being I am admittedly being a prisoner of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
He's better than both of them. Luka Doncic is better than Kawhi right now. Luka Doncic is better than Jamal Murray right now.
Don't mean their team is better than those teams.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
But you still got to consider, who Kawhi is playing with. You got to consider who Jamal Murray is playing with.
I don't know that. And Kawhi's been injured.
Yep.
But I remember 2 years ago when he tried to put the straps on Luka Doncic and he couldn't. I remember when he was dogging Paul George and Kawhi was like, "Hey, get out the way, let me get him."
Yeah.
And he was still.
Who won that series?
Who won that series?
Clippers.
Clippers won.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Point taken.
Yeah.
Point taken.
They won the series. And matter of fact, didn't they play twice, 2 years in a row in the playoffs?
Don't ask me.
Didn't they play once in the bubble, and then?
Don't ask me to remember that.
And then the year after that.
I don't ask me to remember that right now.
Come on, man.
Don't ask me to just don't.
I need an encyclopedia.
Yeah,
mine.
It never been me. You know what they used to call you back in the day.
Damn.
Yeah,
but they won that series.
Yeah,
the one did. I'm referring to, they won that. So
you're right.
So yeah, look, if I'm wrong, I'm gonna eat some of that bird. But I don't think Dallas makes it. MVP predictions. Who your MVP? I'm surprised you had to think about it.
Nah, it's KD, but I was sighing because KD is who I want to win, but I don't know if they want to give it to him.
Not with Kyrie there.
I don't think they like Kevin Durant much either nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like they respect him, they know who he is, but I don't think they like Kevin Durant.
Well, that might be true. I think two things can be true at the same time, but if Kyrie is doing his thing and he's a part of the reason why they're winning, I don't see how you can give KD the MVP.
Oh no. Oh no. I think that KD is winning the MVP. I don't think Kyrie is even in the running for MVP.
No, I
I don't
agree with
even.
that.
Oh, oh,
I'm just saying when you win MVP, it's usually like you the guy, and then you don't
oh.
have.
Let's be clear.
You,
But hold on. Oh, so you're implying that Kyrie is 1A?
yeah,
No, he's not
yeah,
1A. No, he's not.
absolutely.
No, he's not.
And
No, he's
and
not.
even if he's not
No, he's
one
not.
A,
He's
even if
B.
even if he's not one A, even if he's not one B, it's Kyrie Irving. He has as much impact on the game as KD will have impact on the game.
No, no, no,
For him to win MVP,
no. KD is a look, and this is no shade to Kyrie Irving because he's a dog. You don't put Kyrie Irving on the same level as Kevin Durant.
well,
That's just
I'm not even saying that Kyrie is even in the running for MVP candidacy. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying it's kind of like it's kind of like when Durant was with Golden State, right? Like
okay.
so, you know, you got Steph, Clay, Dre. Like, I mean, it's difficult to give MVP to Kevin Durant when he's on the Warriors because of who else is on the squad to
Okay,
help the
but
team win.
yeah, but
I think in Brooklyn's case, Kyrie, like if KD went out, Kyrie could win some games for Brooklyn. Like if
yeah,
KD had to sit for a couple weeks, Kyrie could win games for Brooklyn
yeah,
in his absence.
that's yes, he could, but he's that. I think that's I get what you're trying to say, but you gotta
Yeah,
understand that Steph is on KD level.
sure. I get you're talking
So
levels, so we're talking two different things.
right,
You're talking
right,
levels.
right.
I'm more so talking about if you take X player off the roster, what is that team? I think if KD is off the Nets roster, I think Kyrie is good enough to win games for the Nets in
Yeah,
his
but
absence.
right, yeah, but I don't think that that would. I don't think that that would. KD averages 35, 35, 10, and let's say 5. 35, 10 rebounds and let's say 5
Now,
assists.
if we're talking numbers, like those kind of like maybe highs, those would be season highs for KD. Like if he
Okay,
was
let me take it down.
okay,
Let's say leading scorer. So if leading scorer is 32, let's say 7 rebounds and let's say 4 assists. That's
32,
MVP.
32 7. It's MVP candidacy, but I like the numbers you put out better. I like the 30, the 10, and whatever assists
Right,
you
but
gave.
what I'm saying is that irregardless of whether Kyrie's on that team or not,
Yeah,
those are them numbers. And unless Kyrie is matching those numbers and having the moments, game winners, moments where he, took the game over type thing.
yeah,
Yeah, but that's the thing. Kyrie may take over some games
yeah.
because he the hot hand. But when it comes down to it, it's never going to be the choice of a coach or anybody to say, get the keys to Kyrie. So because that's not the case,
Sure.
that I don't think having a talented player is going to take away from that stock unless it's somebody that's on your level, like a Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's time, you can give the keys to Steph Curry and feel confident. Like that's the kind of player Steph, Braun, KD, Giannis, like the guys that put the ball in their hand and magic is probably going to happen more than it ain't.
Right.
Like you roll the dice with that.
Right.
Kyrie is capable of it, but he's not the type of player that you would say give it to him. Tatum is another guy that you give the keys to. You know what
Sure.
I'm saying? Like
Sure.
Kyrie's not that guy. And because he's not that guy, I don't think that example, the Warrior to Brooklyn example, is a appropriate
Maybe
example.
it's not. Yeah, I agree with you. Maybe it's not an appropriate example with what you're saying as far as the players are on different levels.
Let
Kyrie
me
and
try.
KD are on different levels.
I think KD winning MVP is synonymous with Giannis winning MVP. he got a strong number 2 with him.
So are we saying we're putting Middleton and Kyrie in the same level? Are we doing that?
Yes, we are.
I don't know, bro. I don't know if I can rock with that because Kyrie's
better.
Kyrie puts on a show. Not only that, but Kyrie, people pay to go see Kyrie Irving. Like he's a showstopper. Like I don't think anybody's paying to say, "Hey, I want to pay this much money to go see Chris Middleton."
Okay. That's fair. But in terms of production, though, Chris Middleton is right there with Kyrie Irving.
Production that I agree with.
He's
if,
right
if
there.
If we're talking to production,
he's right there. I agree with you that he's not the ticket per se.
Yeah.
But as far as being a number 2, Chris Middleton is just as good as a number 2 as Kyrie Irving is.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think Kyrie's a great number 2, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but I think Chris Middleton is too.
You think he's I don't think think Middleton's a great number 2. I think he's a good number 2.
I think he's
Well, you know what? I take that back because Middleton closes games. I take that back.
I think that I think that Chris Middleton never had the hype that Kyrie had coming into the league.
Yep.
I think that Kyrie Irving is more exciting because he handles the ball.
Right.
He's
more flashy.
Handler. Yeah, he's the best ball handler in the game.
Yep.
And because he's the best ball, and also because he's had an opportunity to lead a team.
Yeah.
So we've seen him lead teams and be, I won't say successful, but be a ticket sale.
Right. But
I think go ahead.
Nah, I was gonna say our homie Doc Bell is in the Facebook live chat. Shout out to Doc Bell. He says no, Middleton is not in Kyrie's league. Middleton can't carry a team offensively. Look up his career numbers. Kyrie can drop 60 at any time. Facts.
Anytime, I don't know, but I hear you. Okay, that's fair. But that is fair that Kyrie, again, Kyrie is a better player than Chris Middleton. I don't think that's an argument.
No argument there.
Yeah, I don't think that's an argument. In the realm of number 2, I do think that he is just as good as a number 2 as Kyrie's a number 2.
Gotcha. So Giannis, the Bucks without Giannis versus the Nets without KD. Who's the better team?
The Nets. But
okay.
I think it's roster. But I think it's roster involved in that, though.
Yeah, of course. But roster will always be involved in that.
But the Nets, look, you ain't never gonna get me to say Chris Middleton is better than Kyrie. That ain't never gonna happen. Wouldn't try to. Wouldn't dare. But if we're just talking about the role of number 2, I think he's just as good.
Okay. I do. Okay. All right. I mean, look, Kevin Durant to get another MVP, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I just don't know that with the roster and you got a great number 2 next to you. I don't know. For me, I'm going on a limb, and I kind of hinted to it earlier in the conversation. I think Karl Anthony Towns is gonna have a monster year this year.
You were on a limb. You are Tina Marie on a limb. You think Karl Anthony Towns?
I'm thinking Karl Anthony Towns is gonna. Cause look, Gobert's there, so. Gobert's got the defense.
It's not like we was counting on Cat for defense anyway. So
but that's the point I'm trying to get to. Okay. He ain't gotta worry about it. Not so much that we're counting on him for it. He ain't gotta worry about it, right? Yeah. So he can go get his buckets. He can go do his thing. He can shoot his threes, whatever. I just think I think Karl Anthony Towns is gonna have a monster year this year, bro.
An MVP year?
I think Karl Anthony Towns is gonna have an MVP year. And you got Minnesota
and you got them as
number 2 seed.
That's crazy.
Number 2 seed, man.
Hey.
Number 2 seed, bro. I'm going on a limb, man. I gotta throw some.
Marie.
I gotta
on a limb.
I gotta throw some stuff to the wall and see if it stick, man.
I feel you, bro.
Because look, everybody gonna say Jokic and Embiid, even though I wouldn't mind Embiid getting a MVP.
I think he was robbed last year. I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm with you there. John Morant, would love to see him get an MVP. I thought that's who you were gonna say at first was John Morant.
Nah, because let me give it a year. Give it a year.
A year? Okay.
I need the jumper. It's not that he can't shoot. I need it to be proven.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Because he a highlight reel.
Yeah, but I need the jump, and I think he even alluded to it on a podcast in the summer. Like, the jump shot is what needs to be worked on.
Right. Here go Doc Bell in the chat. He's on top of the Empire State Building. Towns, that's an aggressive pick. Yeah, you're right. It is an aggressive pick. I'm beyond the Empire State Building. I'm going out. Yeah, way high on this one.
You in the atmosphere.
The atmosphere. I'm out of this world, man. His question was, who's your number one seed in the West? So he must have missed our segment, but we both had the Clippers as a number one seed. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious, Doc, who your number one seed is out West. I'm actually interested to see who he got in the playoffs, out the Western Conference, but we don't got time for that. So, actually trying to wrap this conversation up a bit. So you got KD for MVP. I got Karl Anthony Towns going out on a limb here for MVP, and our playoff teams are similar, with the exception of one team per conference. So,
go John Wall for comeback player.
Yeah, you know who else is going to be a candidate for that? Jamal Murray's going to be a candidate too.
Yeah, I know, and he'll probably win it. But I'm rooting for John Wall.
So yeah.
But I'm rooting for John Wall.
Okay, all right. I know that's your man. Shout out.
Come back to Park, man.
Doc Bell in the chat. Me too on the Clippers. I will put my playoff picks in a message group. Okay, all right. Well, looking forward to it. So shout out to everybody. Appreciate everybody watching, listening. You catch this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click the like button on the Facebook page. And if you got questions or comments, hit us up on the email at barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. So, another good week, man.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait to do it again. Y'all folks have a great week. Be blessed, and we'll be back next week. Peace.
Happy birthday, Brittany Griner.
Recording stopped.